Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at latest in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculata.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. I heard that there's a new expansion out.
There is, and we're actually recording the show right after the patch, right during the patch today. So we are right on top of news for once, which is kind of amazing for us. And because of me, it's all me. It's all my fault. I suck. But here we are. I see what you did there.
Okay.
See what you did there.
All right. So what's in this new update?
It is update 81, of course, which brings the new expansion. So it is now live. Last show, we talked a little bit about some of the stuff, but now we know exactly what it is. Once again, the expansion has arrived. You will descend into the depths of the Underdark. In the newest expansion for DDO, explore Graven Hollow, an ancient stone giant library, turned last refuge against the madness consuming the deep. Demon lords will roam freely, spreading ruin and insanity wherever they go. Seems about right for demon lords. And the factions that once held this realm together are tearing each other apart. Rally unlikely allies and gather the components for a desperate ritual to banish the fiends. So there you go. Yeah, so once again, expansion is now live. It is level 11 on heroic difficulty, 37 on legendary. Big thing the expansion's going to bring. Of course, we are now level 36 for our level cap. Yay!
Hold it. So you're saying the CR is higher than the level cap?
Yeah, that's usually the case.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. See, I've never had level cap, so therefore I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's usually the case because the legendary is usually higher than whatever that cap is because, it's legendary and it's fun to do. Okay. So, yeah. And then we got 13 quest. The 13th of the quest, so we have 12 quests now. One more quest will debut on August 19th. And the next raid will come in the future. The expansion is available to purchase in the DDO market for real world money. And it is required for access, so you have to buy the expansion to get access to it. It will be available in the DDO store for DDO points the beginning of next year, January something. I'll have to look the exact. I forgot what the date was, but so and that's been like for the past couple expansions. It's always for real world money first, and then it goes into the store for points. It's usually about 4 or 5 months, something like that, where it's money only and then points, something like that. Anything else you want to say before we get into some of the notes?
No, I mean, I've been playing it and turning out, so I've been running through some of the quests there.
Have you been running the wilderness area at a higher difficulty? Since you can do that now.
You're asking Pinely for this?
Well, yeah, I gotta say, I knew the answer when I said that, but I thought maybe you would give it a try, but here we are. All right.
Well, maybe after I finish the questing, because right now, of course, the wilderness area is just in the way of me getting to the quest.
Okay, true. That is a fair point. And then you usually don't ever really go out and explore the wilderness area and grind out there for slayers and stuff normally anyway, so.
Well, there is that.
All right, let's get into the notes, see what's up. Essence Crafting will now support level 36 items. Makes sense. The dissolve window has been updated, so it is much faster. The new flow works similar to a shop window with 3 buttons at the bottom: adjunct, clear, and dissolve. So that
okay. I'm sorry. I thought when they said dissolve window, I thought they were talking about some sort of transition window. I was trying to say, what are you talking about?
Oh,
Okay, so it's something to do with crafting.
yeah,
Right.
it's crafting. Dissolve will consume all items in your dissolve cart and grant you the essence crafting XP and magic item essences instead of requiring dissolvers. The new dissolve will also simply change your platinum based on the minimum level of the items being dissolved. Or will charge you platinum, sorry,
Yeah.
based on the minimum level of items being dissolved. So that's how that works. I've played with crafting a little bit. We've discussed this
Yeah.
in several episodes. I am not a crafter. I have no desire to be a crafter. I realize I'm probably making a mistake in doing this because you can craft really powerful items and stuff. I just don't have any desire to do that. I'm in any game where there's crafting, I don't ever craft. Or if you know how some games you kind of have to, I do the bare minimum what you have to, and I just get through it and then get on to the rest of the game. That's just how I play. That's just me. I'm not taking anything away from any crafters, but like I said, I've talked to people that craft. It sounds amazing. It just sounds like a lot of work, a lot of grind. Not for me.
Yeah, I think the closest thing I've done to crafting is whoever stands in for it at see, the Keep on the Borderlands and in Lamornia are the only two places where I think I've used the mini crafting system that they have
Right.
in the for the packages. But as for the main crafting system, what they used to call the Canaan crafting system, no,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I tried it once a couple of years ago, and then tried it again a couple of years after that, and then really,
Yep.
do I have time for this?
Yeah. See, that's just not me. But so once again, there'll be links to these release notes down in the description and over on DDOplayers.com, so you can read all of these. We're not going to go through every one of these patch notes because there's quite a bit. The Sorcerer's Awaken weakness in enhancement in Tier 5 of the trees will now have a cooldown of 2 seconds, and the animation has also been updated to match the new piercing feats. Tiefling's Tree Scorch will now apply its strip before its damage, similar to the iconic Eladrin enhancement tree spells. I need to play with the new Tiefling and Warlock stuff. I probably should break out my Warlock again and play with some of that. Feed's got a lot of work. There is a lot of stuff in this section of the patch notes, so make sure you go over and read this. Let's see. Legendary Spell Focus ML30 Plus requires Epic Spell Focus, and that's going to give you a +3 to all of your spell DCs now. So that's kind of cool. I'm just kind of jumping through here to see if there's anything. As I said, there's so much in these enhancements. Nothing really is jumping out at me in those.
Right. Anything that says ML20 plus, it's like, we care.
Well, yeah. See, for me, yes, because I have characters that high, but for you, not so much. But yeah, like I said, go read these patch notes where we would be here until noon tomorrow if we would read this whole patch notes.
We will finish them off in January.
Exactly, something like that. It would end up being like a 12-hour show, and who wants that? Items, they have made a suit of new item effects for the loot in this expansion. These largely resemble some existing effects, such as paralyzing and telekinetic. Sorry, I totally spaced on how to pronounce that for a second, but we'll use a system that lets us create them with level appropriate DCs more easily. There are 2 kinds of crafting for the expansion. Items that drop with nearly completed effects, allowing you to select a 4th epics, and catalyst crafting, in which you collect rare abysmal catalyst and deep catalyst ingredients and combine them with legacy named item to create a more powerful new version. Okay, that sounds kind of sweet, actually.
If you have a legacy named item sitting around.
But I have quite a few of them in my bank.
Okay.
That I have been waiting to feed to my weapon, but I have not done yet, so maybe I'll use some of them for this. But the part of this that scares me is the rare abysmal catalyst. Rare scares me in that.
Oh, you say rare meaning requires you to have some RNG luck.
I'm guessing yes. So, yeah. Newly completed items. If you were familiar with nearly finished in the previous content, this is a very similar system. There will be 6 kinds of nearly completed on items in the expansion. Spell School. This allows you to craft on the equipment bonus in your choice of the spell school. Skill will allow you to craft on the exceptional bonus to a group of skills based on an ability score of your choice. Strength skills, intelligence skills, etc., etc. Healing amplification will allow you to choose a competence bonus to positive amplification, enhancement bonuses to repair, so on and so forth. Ability score, of course, will allow your choice of enhancement bonus to ability scores, insightful ability scores, quality ability scores, and then you're going to collect abyssal gems, which are bound to account from chest, then use those with these items in a crafting station.
Yeah. I think I did see one of those nearly completed items at some point when I was questing. I also think that it was something that was not something my character was interested in, so I think
that's also the rub too, because I mean that's just random how it randomly generates that too. So it's like why is my fighter getting this cool thing for a spellcaster or what have you, right? Yeah. That happens with any weapon, but yeah, I'm sure that's the thing. It's like, but on the plus side of that though, the item itself is not bound to account, so that stuff you could trade and are auction in the auction house. So those should be fairly easy to get a hold of. Maybe not so much in drops if you have my RNG luck, but you could trade them. You could, in a chest, you could swap them off or whatever, but
okay.
Rare catalyst and catalyst crafting. The powers of the abyss and the underdark are manifesting in a strange way. The rare items in the expansion pack's chest are abyssal catalyst and deep catalyst. Each of these items relates to a specific item from DDO's history, and when the two are brought together, they can be combined into a powerful new form at either ML11 for heroic catalyst ingredients or ML35 for legendary catalyst ingredients. To do this, you will need one of the rare catalysts along with a specific named item and it's associated with. In some cases, you may require the heroic version of the item for crafting a heroic item and the epic or legendary version for crafting the legendary one. Wow, that seems like a lot. You will also need a number of abyssal gems. Creating the item will consume all of the ingredients, including the named items, and you will create the new item. Okay, that sounds amazing, but it sounds like a lot, though, and that sounds like a heck of a grind.
Yes. Well, I did notice I think in the 4 quests I've done so far, I think I've seen abyssal gems drop once, but I believe that there's a patch on that.
Yeah, we will get to that in a second.
Right.
Wilderness area, as I alluded to at the beginning of the show, the wilderness area now supports quest difficulty options. And we talked about this last week as well. So yeah, when you go out in this, and keep in mind, for right now, it's only this wilderness area that does it. As we said last week, they would like to go back and change all of the other stuff. The newer expansions, they said it's going to be easier for them to do than the older content, but that's neither here nor there right now. So yeah, once you hit the door to go out, you select your difficulty. Slayer quests are the same as other wilderness areas, but you will get more credit per enemy defeated on higher difficulties, and you will get a 75% bonus cap in Reaper. XP for rare quest also increased on higher difficulties. Explorer XP does not change on higher difficulties, though. Landscape chests can increase their drop rates per standard difficulty rules. So if there's something that drops out in one of the chests on the landscape, just like in a normal dungeon, if you set it higher, you're going to have a little better chance of getting that to drop out of that chest. Again, RNG luck depending. My luck doesn't work that way usually with the chest drops, but we've talked about that before. Mythic and Reaper bonuses on rewards are possible. There is no Reaper re-entry lockout for the wilderness areas, although the typical lockout does remain for wilderness entry, and there is not a 10 kill minimum. However, you do not earn Reaper XP in wilderness areas. That is kind of the bummer. You don't get the Reaper XP, but you'll get bonuses and stuff, and if you're running it in Reaper, you will get all your Reaper bonuses and enhancements too. So I guess there's that. It's just kind of, I can see why they didn't do the Reaper XP out there, though, because that would be a super simple way to farm Reaper XP. So I get it. I'm super excited about this change because I think I tend to do like Slayer Quest and stuff like that in wilderness areas anyway. So I think this will give me more of a reason to do that, especially because I can set it on Elite or Reaper 1 and get more experience that way and maybe better drops. Haha, yeah, right. So I'm excited for this. I know you're probably on this because you really don't care that much, I'm guessing.
I mean, I'll probably forget about all this 5 seconds after the show's over.
Well, yeah, probably. So that's one of the big things. They've made some adjustments to action flow that have made the Alchemist color changing abilities much more reactive on use. Never played an Alchemist, so I have no idea what any of that means that I just said, but if you play Alchemist, I guess you will know and you'll be excited. This note made me laugh. Non-raid filigree now have prettier icon borders. The little quality of life things that we didn't know we needed, right? Like, I'm not exactly sure why we needed that, but sure, okay. Maybe it helps them stand out from the raid version. I don't know. Who know? The drop rate of Elemental Victory in the Temple of Elemental Evil, Depths of the Temple, has been increased, which I thought was interesting. They're actually going back to older content like that and increasing drop rates for stuff, which is interesting to me that they're doing that.
I'm trying to remember, what in the world is Elemental Victory?
That is a good question. Let me look it up. Because I don't remember. I remember
Depths of the Temple's Nugget Moist level.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the reason why I don't know. That's because I never do that adventure. I might do the rest of the temple, but I generally skip Nugget Moist.
Looking it up. That is a head item acid absorption 10%, fire absorption 10, cold 10, and electric 10. Not exactly sure why you would really want that. It drops in the depths of the temple, which has been confirmed. Also drops in the air node dragon sword chest, fire node chest, the water node chest, and the earth node chest. So there you go.
Okay, maybe they're useful in the ultimate boss fight or something like that.
I don't know. I'm sure there's like a build you can build around it too. That's just kind of weird. But I appreciate them going back and increasing drop rates on stuff. So maybe if there's something like you really, really wanted, say something on the forums and the devs might at some point increase some drop rates and stuff like that. Helmed Horrors no longer heal from force damage, but are simply immune to the force damage. Quite a bit of bug fixes. There is a long list of bug fixes. I'm just looking if there's anything major in here. Horn of Thunder can now properly be cast directionally. They fixed backwards trap boxes in Grim and Barrett. That has been there for a while, because I used to run that quest at nauseum because I was trying to grind for some stuff out of there. The Devils to Pay, Creeping Death, and Brothers of the Forge. Fixed a typo here and there. A lot of typo fixes. Eye of Maybar now heals you if you are a Warforged or Blade Forge. More typo fixes. They rotated some trap boxes in a minor sacrifice, the Haunted Library, and the Proper Authorities. Trick Shot now properly reduces your tumble charge cooldown.
Rotated trap boxes?
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure why they would have done that unless I don't know.
Especially because I've done 2 of those quests very recently. I was wondering, what are they talking about?
I'm trying to think. It's been a little while since I ran Haunted Library, but I don't remember any weird looking trap boxes, but apparently, who knows? Bastani Knife Fighter's single dagger ability now lasts through death. More typo fixes. Once again, go over to the show notes, read through this full list. I think the biggest thing in here is the engineering change. The crafting page in your character sheet is now formatted much more nicely. I kid, but maybe if you crafted all the time, that was annoying you. Once again, as we said earlier, not a crafter. Been on the crafting page on my character sheet, I think maybe twice in my whole life. So, but apparently it looks more nice now. So there you have it. There was some known issues. We would normally tell you what those were, but as of today, Friday, July 24th, as we record, those are getting patched as we speak. The worlds are down for this patch.
No, they're back up.
Oh, did they come back up?
They came up before the patch notes came out.
Oh, I didn't see the note. I didn't see the note that it came back up. I just seen that the release notes were out. So
strike that. Reverse it.
But yes, there was a patch. Update 81.0.1 was released today. The end chest in the quest Flocked Together will now properly display its rewards following initial closure of the chest UI. The drop locations of several items in the new expansion have changed to ensure that the named items are not dropping in more than one location. Okay, let me read that again because I have questions. The drop locations of several items have changed to ensure that named items are not dropping in more than one location.
That means that one specific boss has each.
Gotcha. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, now that I read it the second time. Gotcha. Apparently multiples were dropping and okay. Gotcha. That makes sense now. 2 named items that were not dropping will now properly appear. That's from the expansion. Landscape purple name encounters now drop the correct catalyst from their rare list. That was one of the known issues. Catalyst were not dropping at the proper rate. The rare encounter in the wilderness for the expansion will now properly count towards the rare quest. Always a good thing if you kill the rare and then you don't get you've killed X out of X rares. So that's good. Inspire Excellence will now scale correctly. The Saga for the new expansion now drops artifacts from Tower instead of Masterminds of Terror. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's a...
But Yeah, I have a feeling someone because used to be doing things from Shar and someone had towers on their mind. Even it should be
Yeah,
Terra
yeah,
Guard.
yeah. So the expansion Shaga will now drop artifacts from the expansion instead of Masterminds of Sharn, is how that should read. I do believe, I think that is a typo in the release notes. And the Abysmal Gems in Legendary Abysmal Gems now drop at their intended rates. Once again, we kind of talked about what those are for earlier. And the Legendary Abyssal Gems now say Legendary when you put them in a stack.
Okay, that's good.
Yay.
And that's it for
That
81.0.1.
is it. Yeah. So once again, expansion is out. Go have fun with it. Hopefully next week I can actually get in and check it out a little more. I'm excited to see all of the cool stuff and kill all of the demon lords.
Right? Now, it looks like that there is a member of the forums who thought, hey, here are some nice things that maybe we could adopt from LotRO.
Yeah, I saw this forum post and I thought this would be fun to talk about, especially with you because you were basically the LotRO king. I mean, you're like Mr. LotRO, basically. So I thought this would be good to get your thoughts on this as a avid LotRO player. But yeah, over on the forums, and you'll find a link in this in the show notes, Grind Flare put up a post that says things DDO should adapt from LotRO. He starts off with a disclaimer. These are certain things that I would like to transfer from this game. Or, I'm sorry, there are certain things that I would like to transfer from this game into LotRO as well. Maybe I'll do another thread for that once I have ensured these features haven't crept into the game since I stopped playing it. Disclaimer number 2, I haven't played LotRO for a while now, so possibly they have gotten more awesome features since, because they probably haven't gotten rid of the ones that actually worked. And disclaimer number I think Pine Leaf has something to say about that. Disclaimer number 3, the purpose of this is not to make these two games similar, but to tackle their individual quality of life issues. With that being said, are you ready for the 5 things that he suggests?
Okay.
Or he or she, I should say. I'm not sure. I assume he from the name, but don't want to. He or she. Okay. With that out of the way. Number 1, the combat chat showing heals, damages, damage types, avoidance types, etc. in different colors. It's so much easier to check what actually happened when you died or you did X amount of damage if you can choose with your eyes to pay attention to.
Right. Let's see. Okay, because it's all in one color in DDO.
Yes.
I don't normally pay too much attention to the combat chat in there. In fact, the only reason why I'm seeing it right now is because somehow it got to the left of it and it's by default showing me the combat chat. And usually the first thing I do is when I notice that is I click one of the other tabs. So that'd be looking at a tab I'm interested in. But yeah, in LotRO, you often go around checking to see, all right, what killed us.
Right.
And I don't do that all that often in DDOs. Maybe that's the reason why they never bothered doing something like that. But I guess maybe the ones who often do group instances and raids might have a better reason why they might want to look into something like that.
I know like back when I was playing LotRO a lot, I never looked that much either. And about the only time I ever look in DDO is when I died. And I'm like, okay, what did that just do that I died? Especially if I get like one shot at or something. I'm like, okay, what just happened? What do I need to do to stop that from happening again? So yeah, this one I'm kind of meh on. I mean, I guess it would be nice just to be able to glance and see, okay, the color, like if I would set it for X color, and then it's like, oh, okay, I see what that was, but okay.
Now, in DDO,
Yeah,
death is a lot more annoying than it is in LotRO.
fair.
And
That is fair.
DDO, right, because in DDO, if you wipe well, I don't know what happens since I haven't done too many raids, but I would presume there's a wipe in a raid has the same consequences as dying in a normal dungeon has, where you've got to have a cake or go back and run back to the dungeon and all this weird rigmarole.
Yes.
Yeah, because in LotRO, the consequences you go back to either the start of the dungeon or sometimes a checkpoint if it's a very, very huge dungeon. So because of that, I'm less likely to rage quit the dungeon after a couple of deaths I am in DDO.
Right. No, that's fair.
And so if you're not rage quitting to it, then you're more likely to be interested in how you died so that you could try it the third or fourth time. I don't think I'd have the patience to try something three or four times in DDO, so therefore I'm less likely to check the combat log. But I would say someone who's a raider, because I know that raiders, one of the most important skills you have to have as a raider is to die and be able to come back.
Yep.
Because that's what they're going to be. Because otherwise, you're not going to get through a raid unless you have the patience to die a few times and continue on after it.
Right. So number 2 on the list here is a big one. I agree with this one wholeheartedly. Wardrobe. LotRO has a system where you can store every item that can be made as a cosmetic copy and add it to the wardrobe, which is a separate, and he uses air quotes, bank, where everyone on that account, our server, can wear it. And remember, in LotRO, basically every armor piece, shoulder piece, leg piece, shoes, cloaks, etc., can be a cosmetic. Another plus for cosmetically Another plus
Oriented.
for cosmetically oriented, that's kind of weird. So while it makes the possibilities enormous, it also makes the need for extra wardrobe space a constant issue among the veteran players.
Oh yeah, and right now I would say, well, I could understand this request here. For me, I would say the bigger priority is a much better cosmetic system in general for DDO. Because right now, the wardrobe, the cosmetic system in LotRO is miles and miles and miles better than the one in DDO. I mean,
Oh,
I
100%.
yeah, and
100%.
it's hard for me to really get excited about cosmetics enough to worry about a wardrobe system in DDO because of how much of a distance there is in how cosmetics works. In ESO and in LotRO, you have a robust cosmetic system. In DDO, it's, well, okay, I said, oh, I like the look of this outfit. I'll just plop it on into the cosmetic outfit and I'm done there. It's like,
Yeah, 100. I 100% agree. I would do much more with wardrobe type stuff and like making different outfits and stuff like that if it was easier to do. Other than, okay, I gotta take up all the storage space for all of this stuff and then switch it out when I want to switch it. Yeah,
yeah.
100%. I'm not sure because I know, and we have talked about it in the past too, that even though it's the same company that makes the games are far apart. Like the code is far apart. There's some similarities between the two, but then there's some stuff like if just because LotRO can do something, it might not be technically possible in DDO for it to be done just because of the code. And I'm
18 years of code.
yeah.
Well, I guess 19. Yeah, 19 years of code where if they started out at the same basic engine, which I believe they
They
did,
yes,
they
yeah,
have
it
branched out so much in 19 years. And 19 years is a huge amount of time for code.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's why, like I've seen in the past too. People will say, well, LotRO can do this. Why can't we? Well, it's because of the code. It's because of that many years of branching off the code from the two. Yes, they started in the same place. Like from day one, I'm not a programmer, so I keep that with a grain of salt when I say this, but I would assume when the games first started, it was probably simple or simpler, I'll put it that way, to say LotRO and DDO can both do this thing because of the code is much easier to do. And it's like we can import this and vice versa. But now it's a little more difficult than that.
Not since Alpha, I would say. So now we're going about 21, 22 years. Well, actually,
Yeah.
probably the last time where they could probably easily have done that was when LotRO was still called Middle Earth Online.
Well, a long time ago. That's a long time ago. So yeah,
That's before the first beta.
so right. So keep in mind all of that when. Guess we probably should have led with that, but yeah, like this is stuff sure that we want and we wish could happen, but it might not be technically possible. We'll see though, because it's surprising what they are adding. 20 years into DDO, and they're adding something, and you're just like, wow, I didn't think that would ever come, but here we are. Number 3 sort of kind of leans into that as well. Previewing your cosmetics. It's just simple with the control plus mouse button that you can see the thing, your weapon piece, your shirt, your boots, whatever will look like on your own character.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I don't think you could even have cosmetic weapons in DDO.
You can if you glamour them.
Oh, you could glamour the weapon? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's weapon glamoring and stuff.
Yeah, that's sort of like the thing about DDO is that the whole thing about the weapon glamour system is going to be one of the holdbacks of making major changes on how the cosmetic system works.
Right.
In LotRO, it's pretty much automatic. There is no glamoring step or anything like that. Just stick it in your wardrobe and voila, no matter what it was, it's now a cosmetic.
Yeah. Number 4 here. Okay, this is where I'm like, okay. Now I understand that DDO isn't that. Oh, it's storytelling. I should have led with. Okay. Sorry. Storytelling. Now I understand DDO isn't that kind of RPG, which I will disagree with that statement. But when comparing it to the cohesivity of LotRO's story, even if we disregard the Tolkien part of it, this one is just shallow. Some recent X-Packs have tried to alleviate the issue, but it's still in my mind a big no-no.
Well, I would say the individual packs. I was about to say about it. I better take it because the whole thing about the codex. I mean, that was an overarching storyline that over a decade, I think, or something like that. Okay, it was a little weak at first. It took a while before it really turned. You're going, what is really going on before we found out the whole thing with Vecna and all that stuff. But
right. And that's why, I will disagree with this one because, yes, like you had said, I think earlier game stuff, okay, there was like some storylines, you had like the Sharn Syndicate and stuff like that, but it was mediocre at best.
Yeah.
But when I think the big turning point for me was the codex pages. That's when an overarching story became, and then like you said, that lasted forever. And then now we have all of these other stories that are getting woven into, and they're kind of even bringing all these other stories kind of back to the codex, and they're kind of putting the codex back into it as well too. So I think they're doing a good job at that. And it has gotten better and better with each expansion, I think, and even some of the quest packs, I think, too, have had some pretty good stories. So, but yeah, of course, it's not as deep, and I don't think it's ever going to be as deep because LotRO has Lord of the Rings and Tolkien to pull from. So,
And the quest system is very, very different in the two games. In LotRO, your quests interleave with the landscape. There's really not any equivalent to landscape quests in DDO, while in LotRO, I would say 90% of your quests are landscape quests. In DDO, landscape quests are few and far between. 99% of all your quests are instanced quests. So,
that is true, too. But yeah, I think that just points out the differences in the games, too. Because I think the LotRO player base is more storytelling, RPG, role playing based anyway, because there's a lot of people that really get immersed into their character on LotRO. And it's not just a character. They're making backstories. They're making a story for them. They're role playing that character. And there's like role playing servers, which I know DDO has some servers that are role playing as well, but not like on LotRO. Like LotRO people are serious about that stuff.
there is quite a.
Yeah. So,
Which is why in LotRO the housing is in housing neighborhoods. They don't always succeed in that and stuff like this, but there's some role playing communities that work within the housing system in order to do
right.
that. In DDO, the housing is instanced. There are some great advantages to instanced housing, and that you don't have the headache of saying, okay, when do you spawn new neighborhoods? What kind of limits can we have in neighborhoods? All those headaches you have to deal with in LotRO in order to do housing in there.
Yeah. Because,
But there are other advantages to being able to have different houses in the neighborhood, and you feel more like a neighborhood on the LotRO side.
that is true. Like all we have is the airships.
You have the airships.
That's our quote unquote house.
That's your house, and you also and in DDO that gives them the advantage of being able to have your buff stations and stuff like that there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing in DDO. I mean, you don't have anything like housing buffs in LotRO.
Right. Right. So, yeah, like I said, that one I'm kind of, I don't really agree with that one. He or she's fifth point here is crafting. First of all, there are too many types of crafting in DDO. See our previous conversation. You should get rid of half of them. And while I tried to compile a coherent crafting model for this game, I failed. So,
well, I would say I would. Well, okay. Yeah, a more coherent crafting system, fine. I would not want LotRO's crafting system. LotRO's crafting system has a few things it could learn also.
So, can you quickly give us the elevator pitch on how LotRO's crafting kind of works versus what you know of DDO's? Because I know we had both said we're not really crafters in DDO, but
okay, the crafting system in DDO, I get the impression that it's been a few years since I've tried crafting in DDO.
Yep.
But I get the impression that you break things down and that you acquire some sort of base item, which I guess you could either buy a base item from a vendor or you could remove the enchantment on an item or something like this. Like, for example, when I talk about base, I'm talking about mace or something like that. And so you don't craft the mace. What you do is that you acquire a mace and then you enchant the craft. So it's inspired by the enchanting system from 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons. I know that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%.
And so the idea there is then that you try to enchant it. So I think you have a baseline in DDO. As I said, I really don't remember all this, but it sounds like you have sort of like a base enchantment to allow you to enchant something into it, and then you put some things, and you have all these weird ingredients you have to put on top of it in order to do it. And I think it's the ingredients thing that always so that's one crafting system. What they used to call the Caneth crafting system, I think, until what 2 days ago is when it officially
Yep,
stopped being
when
called
the
the Caneth
expansion
crafting.
hit. Yep.
Yeah, right. So we had the Caneth crafting system. Then, of course, you have the individual expansion crafting systems, which I've only dabbled in two of those that I can remember. One was the one from Chill of Ravenloft, and the other one was from Keep of the Borderlands, and that's more like a barter system than a crafting system. I think they call it a crafting thing, but I think to me it feels more like a barter system.
Yeah, I would sort of agree with that assessment. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go with the Canaan crafting system. Yeah, I never figured that out. I think it's part of it is because unless you're in the legendary high level areas, you're not going to be keeping an item long enough to care about crafting it. You can say the same thing about LotRO, because in LotRO, it's done by level bands. So usually level bands are about 10 levels. And so this is a tier of crafting. So you collect items on the landscape. And of course, it so happens that the item you need is available in landscapes in this level range. I know, what a coincidence. And so you collect the landscape items, and then you've got recipes, and then you make those recipes. And then you go to a crafting station. And crafting stations are every zone has at least one crafting station of each type. So you have an oven for cooking. You've got a anvil or forge. I guess a forge if you want to either do some smelting or if you want to make the item. One of the problems that they had is they had something called gatherer. They have some professions that are gatherers and others that were that made things that the gatherers did, and they're hoping to arrange them in such a way that people would have incentive to work together and exchange stuff and things like that, which I think that probably lasted about 3 weeks in the game. you know, you know how MMO players are. They want to do everything. They want their character to be able to collect their own stuff and stuff like that. So
Right.
that went away a couple of years ago, where they finally got rid of doing that. Now you could select which three professions. Well, actually, I guess it's four. You could buy a fourth profession, so you know which four professions you want to work with. And of course, every time you hit a new tier on there, well, everything you've done in the previous tier, I hope you crafted enough stuff at that lower tier so that you have the expertise as you go into the next tier, and then get that to the full expertise, into the next tier, into the next tier, into the next tier, into the next tier. That's one of that actually part of the system they tried to get rid of last 2 years ago, and it didn't work. They couldn't get rid of it. It turned out that they were stuck with the system. They tried to make some major changes to the crafting system when Umbar came out, and nope, there are some items in there that just refuse to budge. I said, no, I'm sorry, you're not changing me. Meh. So they're stuck with that particular type of crafting system. I'm not particularly fond of the crafting system in there, but I think it's a traditional crafting system that's existed in MMOs for a pretty long time. I mean, it's pretty much the same crafting system that they have in WoW. And I'm guessing that WoW must have gotten it from some other game. I have never played EverQuest, so I have no idea if it could have come from EverQuest. I'm going to guess that it's probably something that seemed like a good idea in EverQuest and has been let's say 30 years over its time. That's my opinion of the LotRO crafting system. So, yeah, I don't know what to do about crafting systems in general or anything like this, but it's, I don't know if there's ever been a game with a really satisfactory. Oh, I do see some nice things coming in from the ESO one where you could craft a huge variety of things in ESO. Because in LotRO you have specific recipes for specific items. And that's what you can make. In ESO you could make pretty much anything you want. But boy, is the grind in order to get all that knowledge really long.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of games that kind of focus more on the crafting, and they kind of make the grind part of the grind of the game because you're grinding for the, stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm just not a big crafter in any game. So,
Yeah, but I would say I'm rarely a top-end crafter, but I would say in DDO less so than even in those other games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't, like I said, I don't mess with it that much. So let us know what you think. Email podcast@ddoplayers.com or leave a comment either over on the site or on the YouTube for this. Let us know what you think about this list. And if anybody is like a huge crafter and would like to come on the show and explain to us why we're wrong about crafting, please do, because I've talked to people in the past. I just don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it. But I would actually love to have somebody come on and really dig deep into crafting, because I know it's a big part of the game and there's a lot of people that love it.
Is it Saba Jade or one of those really into it, or was it?
Oh, yeah, Saba is. Well, Alessa used to be.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure Saba Jade crafts too. So, and I know she listens to the show. So, Saba, you need to come on. I forgot you're a big crafter too. But if anybody else, podcast@ddoplayers.com, let us know and we'll have you on.
I think I heard one time rumor that it tied into the challenge system somehow, but I never understood quite how that.
I think so, because I think you can get ingredient. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said.
Okay. Anyway, that's it.
That's neither here nor there.
Really knows their stuff in order to talk about it.
Exactly. Like, it's not me, not you. So, yeah. But, yeah, I would love to get somebody on. But, yeah, Saba, email me or text me and let's talk, because I'm pretty sure you are a crafter. I forgot you were a big crafter. But I just thought this post was interesting, and I wanted to hear what your thoughts coming from LotRO. But let us know. Podcast@ddoplayers.com. Our reply on the forums are the YouTube posts. Let us know your thoughts.
It looks like we have a Determine Your Discount sale this week.
We do. You can get 15, 20, or 30% off one item of your choice, and these can be used several times. So if you want 15% off, it's Abyssal 15, ABYSSAL 15. That can be used 5 times, so you can get 15% off 5 different items for your character. Abyssal 20 will get you 20% off, can be used 3 times, and then Abyssal 30, 1 time per account for 1 item for your character. So once again, Abyssal 15, Abyssal 20, and Abyssal 30. Keep in mind when you're using codes in the store, they have to be all uppercase or they won't work. Discounts are applied to redeeming characters. Keep that in mind too. So if you want a specific item for a specific character, make sure you logged into that character. Make sure you use the discount that you want to use for whatever item on the character you want to use it on. Remember that. Use coupon before logging off or switching characters. July 30th is when that ends. Also running through the 30th is the Rise Again sale, 20% off select reincarnation items, healing items, spell point potions, and XP elixirs, once again through July 30th. And then also through the 30th, the weekly coupon code will get you a free Victranium pick. You'll get one of those with the coupon code Don't Despair, DONTDESPAIR. And that will let you take a Lemortia enhancement out of an item. It's kind of like a jeweler's tool, same principle. It's just for the Lemortia crafting items.
For the Mordia crafting
Is what that does if you're not familiar with what that does. But you might as well get a free one, even though if you don't have any of those right now, maybe you don't have the Lemortia pack quite yet, or you haven't ran it or whatever, might as well get the free one, hold it, and then you'll have it when you need it.
When I get to level 34, I might care about
There you go.
such things. Or whatever level those Lemortia items are. All right, that's it for the game news. So let's see what's coming in from the dungeon. Where Hasbro Wizards of the Coast announces D&D Tower event for Gen Con 2026. So what's coming out of the tower?
There is a lot of coming out of the tower. Yeah, Hasbro Wizards kind of returning to Gen Con in a big way. I mean, they've been there the past couple of years, but they've been kind of low-key. This time, they're really going to be there. If you're familiar with downtown Indianapolis, it's a little bit down from the convention center. It's not too far. There is the iconic Indiana theater. It is like this huge, giant, I call it semi-gothic looking. I mean, it's sort of gothic-y. It's this cool theater that has been in downtown Indy for like ever. It's a very historic building. D&D is taking over that whole building for Gen Con. So through July 30th through August 2nd, they're renaming that building the D&D Tower. And that is where everything D&D can be found at Gen Con. The big event is going to be the D&D Visions keynote. This is the flagship keynote. You're going to find out what the future of D&D looks like. Side note, my opinion, not good.
I hope this theater isn't a single story building.
No, it's not. There's like 5 levels.
Oh, okay. At least it's not completely laughable for them to call it the D.
Yeah, no. No, it totally makes sense. That's
Okay.
I want to say there's like 5 floors, six floors. It's a huge building. If I remember, future note to self, try to put a picture on the screen as we're talking about this so you can see. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. I have taken pictures of it because it's a cool looking building, but no, and then once again, all of the D&D events will be taking place there. So you got this keynote, and then each floor is going to have different things. There's going to be live plays. That's where the Faster Purple Worm Kill live show is going to be held, which, if you remember, we talked about it last week, is actually partly sponsored by DDO. So that's kind of cool. And then the Bound by Blood 5.5e adaptation of Vampire the Masquerade, which we talked about last week. You're going to be able to play that there on one of the floors as well. So if you're in Gen Con next week, check out the D&D Tower. I will definitely at least stop by and see what's going on.
Right. And a Godzilla Sourcebook for Marvel Universe RPG is coming in November 2020.
Godzilla's taken over the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. Yeah, this kind of came from nowhere, too. This just, like, it was last week. This news just kind of broke. Matt Warbeck over on all of his socials just kind of posted, yeah, by the way, Godzilla's coming to the RPG. You're welcome.
Okay, so we're going to have Spider-Man versus Godzilla.
You could, if you would like, or Hulk versus Godzilla, or anybody you want to take against Godzilla. Yeah, this is a full, complete source book. Not a lot of information on it. November 17th is when it's going to hit. It's going to give you kaiju-sized battle rules. So there's going to be some brand new rule mechanics specifically tailored for massive high-scale battles, which you need with a Godzilla-type thing. Monstrous creature profiles, some new battle mats, and there's going to be an exclusive original comic that's going to come out to link with this as well. So that's kind of cool if you're into Godzilla and Marvel and all of that fun stuff. I know there was a comic book series a couple years ago where Godzilla kind of invaded over into the Marvel multiverse, and from what I heard, that comic was really good. I never actually read it, but I know a lot of people are excited for this. So yeah, Godzilla coming to the Marvel multiverse role-playing game.
So it isn't the first time that Godzilla has run into...
No, they've had crossovers in comics for quite a while now.
Okay, very well. Now you could bring those crossovers into your RPG.
Indeed.
And also, Renegade Game Studios announces Anne Rice's Immortal Universe RPG. You must be excited about this.
Maybe.
Maybe? Oh, not?
Maybe. Yeah, this kind of came from nowhere too. I got this press release and I was like, wait, what? Yeah, Renegade has partnered with AMC Global Media to bring the dark, decadent world of Anne Rice to your gaming table. So if you want to play a centuries-old vampire, a powerful witch, a gifted psychic, or a human caught in the web of the supernatural, this is the game for you. It's going to use a chronicle-style storytelling across eras. The game's engine is going to allow you to navigate different historical eras as your characters will progress through the Immortal Universe timeline. So yeah, this is going to cover all of Anne Rice's work. So, she has vampire books, she has witch books, she's got fairy tale books. Technically, those were written under a pen name, but it's still Anne Rice. So, and they're dark, very dark fairy tales. If you've ever read the books, you'd be like, oh my God. So yeah. Yeah, they are not pine leaf friendly. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
At all. Just don't look that up, pine leaf, because you'll be like, oh my God, what am I looking at right now? It's also going to use something called the flashback system. If you need to explain how your character acquired a specific skill or dynamic, you can do that because you're going to jump back in time to relive pivotal past moments that will directly impact your future character. Okay, I'm kind of excited about this. The inaugural release for this is going to focus heavily on Anne Rice's interview with the vampire. Release details, not much else is known. It's going to be crowdfunded over on BackerKit in the fall of 2026. I'm going to stop by and talk to Renegade at Gen Con, and I'll see if I can get more information. I doubt they're going to say much more about this than what they've said so far, though, but I'm going to try. But I'm hesitantly excited about this. I guess I got to see more. I want more information on it, and I want to know exactly how it's going to play, but I mean, it could be cool.
All right, I guess we'll find out. And that's it from what's coming in from the dungeon. So now let's look at what's on the tabletop. For I heard that you did a couple of unboxings.
I did. We did The Gang, the deluxe edition of the game from Cosmos. They sent that over for us to look at. So I did an unboxing video for that. And then also I got the Horrified Dungeons & Dragons Ravenloft. We have been talking about that for a little while. It finally got released. I had pre-ordered it a long time ago from my local Target, and they actually sent it before the release date, which I thought was exciting. So yeah, so you can go check those out. There's links in the show notes for those. Reviews will be coming soon as well for both of those. I've already we'll talk about that in my week in gaming. I played one of them. So we'll see. But yeah, so go check it out.
Now, I get the impression that you are going to be at Gen Con next week since that is your local convention.
Indeed.
So is it possible to get any tickets there now?
Not really. If you wanted a 4-day badge, the single Friday badge, and the single Saturday badge, too bad, so sad for you. Those sales ended about 34 minutes ago as we record this. You can still get Thursday and Saturday badges though. So if you would like to go on Thursday or Sunday, you can still get those if you hurry. Okay, I will say this tongue-in-cheekly. Badges are selling out fastly, which is what Gen Con says, and they say that every year.
Fastly.
Is that true? Who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. We'll see. Just as somebody who has gone to Gen Con, this is probably my, 15th, 16th year, 17th, something. It's been a long time. I'd actually have to count back, but it's been a long time. It's been at least 15 years at least. The show usually totally sells out by now, and the fact that they're just saying badges are selling quick, so buy them now, kind of tells me they're not really selling out that fast. But they just stopped the 4-day, the Friday, and the Saturday badges, so you're out of luck for those. You can still get Thursday and Sunday, and keep in mind they do not do badges at the door, so you cannot just walk up and buy a badge. So you have to pre-order them. The Thursday and Sunday badges, you can get those until July 28th, which will be next Tuesday. So you got a couple days as we record this and hopefully release this. This should be released either today or tomorrow. Yeah. So if you want to go to Gen Con, either Thursday or Sunday, now is your chance, but do it. And keep in mind, no on-site badge sales.
Right. And I presume that Thursday and Sunday are the
worst days to go?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is.
That's the term I wanted to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thursday is opening day, which is absolutely horrible. It is so busy. I mean, it's busy all the time, but Thursday tends to be the busiest day and the worst day to go in the dealer hall. Just in years past, in my personal experience. So yeah, and then Sunday is fine. It's just not as busy. Sunday is also family day, so there's more families and kids there, which is not a bad thing. I don't want to make that when I say Sunday is bad because of that. It's not. It's absolutely amazing to see all the kids and all the families going to a tabletop board game convention. It is great to see that.
But just about all the events are closing down.
Right. Yeah. And then that's like most of your events are winding down. If you were going to Gen Con to buy something, chances are it's probably going to be sold out by Sunday. So, just keep that in mind if you're going to go on Thursday. Pack your patience. I mean, pack your patience the other 4 days as well, too. But definitely pack it on Thursday. And on Sunday, keep your expectations low if you're going to buy stuff because it's probably going to be sold out by then. Just keep that in mind.
All right. And you have any special coverage planned?
We have 11... things scheduled so far with game companies, so stay tuned for that. Those will be coming to YouTube, and then make sure you're following us on Facebook and Blue Sky, as I'll be posting all sorts of pictures and other fun stuff all 4 days, actually. Well, actually 5, because I'm starting on Wednesday, so... we'll be posting over on Facebook and Blue Sky, and then look for our interviews with game companies and all of that fun stuff starting probably Monday or Tuesday afterwards. Probably Tuesday, because usually Monday I need time to recoup and try to realize what just happened to me the last 4 days. So yeah, so probably starting on Tuesday You'll after Gen Con, you'll start seeing the interviews and stuff that we do. But like I said, so far we have 11 scheduled. Don't think I'm going to schedule too many more unless some other companies reach out or whatever. But I'm pretty much scheduled everybody that I definitely wanted to talk to. So yeah, it's always fun. So look for that coming in next week.
Let's head into our weekend gaming. Drac, what were you up to?
Well, over on Cruising with Drac, we did the Vault the Night, and this was just Beaker and I this time. We kicked it old school like we started out Cruising with Drac when it was just him and I. We did, like I said, the Vault the Night. We did 1 and 2 of that. So we did Thorask Arena and The Prisoner. I will put a link over in the show notes to Beaker's Twitch. You can watch that if you would like. And then over on the tabletop, I actually got Silver Bayonet back to the table again. My friend came over and we jumped back into our campaign. We did 2 more of the campaign games for that. We have, I think, 7 left in the main book of Silver Bayonet. And then we're going to jump into a couple of the other miniatures games I have. And then we're going to jump back in to Silver Bayonet. Not sure if we're going to do Transylvania or Egypt first, but let's not kid ourselves. We're going to do Transylvania next. So there you go. You heard it here first. And then after we got done with that, I did break out the Horrified Dungeons & Dragons Ravenloft. Played that one time. It's Horrified. It's Ravenloft. It's hard. A couple things I don't like about it. And then there's number one, I'm just going to say, not to spoil the review that I'm going to do, but I'm going to kind of spoil it. Ravensburger, fix your rulebooks before you release a game. The rulebook is absolutely horrible, which that's kind of a Ravensburger trademark at this point. But this one was extremely bad. You basically have to download version 2 of the rulebook because there's so many rules that are wrong in the rulebook that you can't really figure out how to play. And there's rules that contradict each other in the rulebook as it's written now that they actually fixed in version 2. So you actually have to download a new rulebook to even play this with some of the monsters, which again, by this point, sorry to say it, but Ravensburger kind of is known for that at this point. I wish that wasn't the case, but that is the case with Ravensburger these days. So, yeah, but it plays, if you're familiar with the Dungeons & Dragons version of Horrified that we have talked about on the show before too, and did a review for that. I'll try to remember to link that too. It plays similar to that. There is some changes to the Ravenloft version. They included some of the dark powers in this one. So at a certain point in the game, if you want, you can accept the dark powers, and then you flip your player card over, and then you have your dark version of your player with some different actions you can take, and then it incorporates the D20. You can roll it, and depending on what you roll, you can have some special. But yeah, it's a Ravenloft. It's really hard though. At least through the one play that I've done, I'm gonna play this a couple times more. It seems like to me this might be the hardest Horrified, maybe. I think the Cthulhu one was pretty hard too, and we were even playing the 2 easy, quote unquote, easiest monsters, and we barely won. We won at the very last minute. Actually, no, I take that back. We didn't win. We thought we were going to win, but then we didn't win. We got a bad monster card that pulled. Of course, that happens. But we would have lost anyway, even if we couldn't have beat it, that we didn't have enough turns left, because if you're familiar with Horrified, if your monster deck runs out, you lose the game, and we only had like 3 monster cards left. So yeah, very, very hard. So keep that in mind. But if you're playing Horrified, you know it's hard. Yeah, there you go. That's really all I did. What about you? I see you had a lot going on.
Well, my arcane trickster, who is currently level 8, decided to head into Lemuria, where I ran the first 8 quests within that storyline. Then they released the new expansion, so I switched over to my level 11 Dampier, who then ran the first 4 quests in the new content: Demon in the Rough, Tower of Vengeance, A Blood Pact, and Hideous to Behold. I really love some of the titles that they've come up for these. The really nice puns in them, or things at least reference to what you're going to be doing in there. And I did notice, for example, that the one that I think is going to be the one we're going to run to Zuggtmoid, which probably having a nice title to go with it is probably lessen my apprehension about going into a Zuggtmoid based dungeon, where it was called A Long Way to Mushrooms. And it's a nice for Lord of the Rings reference in there. So it's nice to see that they had that in there. So we'll have to see what that is later on in there. But I did get through the first 4 quests there, so that means 8 more to go, at least until they release that 13th quest that was mentioned earlier. And in video games, in Stardew Valley, we wrapped up 2 runs. We completed with Cinders, we ran a perfection run. That means to complete all of the items in there. They had this list of things and you need to do in order to complete perfection. And the last of the items in there was to get 10 million to buy some stupid clock in there. So we finally did that, and we finally were able to see the credits at the end. We finished everything there. And also with Krister, we finished our 2nd year there, and we got a nice score from Grandpa over on that. And I started a new adventure game called Scarlet Deer Inn, which is a strange hybrid of an adventure game and a platformer.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a strange hybrid in there.
Yeah.
And it also vacillates between a chill platformer, meaning, okay, you do these things, sort of like a type of platform section you might have in an adventure game, for example. And then there are certain sections in there where you have the most chaotic, instant, quick timed platformer thing that you could ever possibly imagine. Is it like reaches back and forth on that every once in a while in there. So it's rather strange for that particular one. So that's a strange one in there. I don't quite have a full opinion of it yet, but its unique quality is that the backgrounds are all painted and that the characters and all the objects are all embroidered. So it's a very, very different style of artwork that's done in this particular game over any others I've seen. And that's it for my week in gaming. We currently have 12 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the Nature's page to support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you have any feedback to us, you could send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. We record every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We record the LotRO Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. This is Pilot Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.